What's up, everybody? It is your friend Josh from Creative 605. Today, I am down at the Creamery Mall at my buddy Brian Blair's office / studio space, and he's got his good buddy Danny with him. And some of you may know Danny, you may know Brian, some of you may know about a pretty awesome thing they did last week. For those of you that don't know, we're going to talk a little bit about it, and we're going to talk about ways that you might be able to get involved. We have some thoughts about where some of your heads should be at as we roll into 2020. And I think a lot of us need to start thinking a little more about helping out our community any way we can. And through Creative 605 in 2020, my partner Keenan, shout out to Keenan, and I are working on a project that we are going to start showcasing people in our community that are actually going out there and doing something for the community. And it just so happened that these guys did a pretty amazing thing last week. And I want to talk a little about that, and maybe that will inspire some of you to take an idea you had and maybe run with it as far as helping out in your community or making something happen. So Brian, I want to first thank you for being an inspiring person in our community. You might not know it, and I'm not the type to go pat people on the back all the time, but I follow a lot of the stuff you do, and I know going out and doing things in this community is actually something that you're pretty big on.
Right.
Anybody that follows you on Facebook, whether they're close friends or not, they know you as a guy that's quite often out there giving back or being a part of something. So last week I saw on your Facebook at nighttime, no less, very guerrilla tactics. You guys decided to do a thing that was pretty phenomenal in helping some less fortunate out, especially during this time of the year when people are really in need of just a little help. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what you guys did?
Well, I was, full disclosure, I was a little bit in the whiskey. And
As was I.
yeah. And not at the same, he was at his house, I was at mine, but I was just a typical night scrolling through Facebook, wife on the couch, not really watching what was on TV, just kind of hanging out. And I mean, every news article that night just seemed to be negative and you know, dividing people more and more. And I mean, you start seeing some of these comments on these news articles about politics, and hundreds of comments, and you know they're not lifting each other up on there. You know what I mean? And so I wanted to see. I've always had a pretty decent Facebook following. You know, my edge rank stays pretty high. And so I just said, hey, I'm going to throw $25. I'm going to be at McDonald's in the morning buying some breakfast sandwiches. I'm going to deliver them downtown. You don't have to do anything, but if you want to chip in, I'll gladly take that $25, buy some sandwiches, and I'll go deliver them downtown. And I no less like put the phone down, you know, after posting that, thinking like I might get $100, $150, right? I mean, my phone just didn't turn off. It was just notification. And so looking through there, Danny was like the first one to be like, hey man, I'll help you. I got nothing going on. And people, I didn't even think about doing it using PayPal.
Sure.
At this time. I just thought it'd be a couple guys like you and you saying, yeah man, I'll give you $25. I'll meet you in the morning with some cash, and yeah, appreciate it, good job, right? And so people start saying, hey, what's your PayPal? And start using all these weird, like, I don't have Venmo, I'm old. What's your Venmo? I don't know, I got PayPal, and I still rock a Hotmail, you know, a Hotmail email, you know, I don't know what that is. And so, I mean, it really took off. We had, I had friends from, I mean, these are friends that I've never met, right? These are other insurance professionals from the other side of the country that were sending me money. It was local businesses saying, you know, $25 isn't enough. Here's $200, you know. And I mean, the between the Facebook notifications and the PayPal notifications, it just stacked up that night. And so Danny and I, of course, were texting back and forth like, hey man, like this is something serious. Like people want to help this out. We start talking that night about starting and making this a real charity, getting the tax stuff done for a real, you know, making this official.
A nonprofit.
We're throwing around names, right? Like we go to bed, and I don't know about you, but I was up at like 3:30 in the morning because I was like, let's go.
Excited.
Like, I'm gonna shower. I'm gonna, you know, get, you know, I had a neighbor that said that she would chip in, so I had to swing by her house and grab money. I got to McDonald's 15 minutes early. He was already there, so he
Yeah.
beat me there.
I was
Atta
ready
boy.
to go.
And I mean, it just blew up. Like we had people that we didn't even recognize that said, "Hey man, I saw your." We had a lady follow us in
Yes. And
to
didn't
McDonald's. She's like, "I don't know if you guys are the orange Jeep people, but
Here you go.
here's $20." And
Wow.
like, we didn't even know the lady, and so it just
Yeah,
it just
incredible.
snowballed really
A
quickly.
30-second post on Brian's part inspired just a chain of events where we fed 40 homeless
40 people.
ourselves, and then we
Now I understand. So you guys did this thing, which is the snowball effect is so absurd.
Yeah.
This is one of those things, people, where a very small movement on your part, it could be as simple as Brian made a Facebook post and said, "Hey, we're going to do a thing," and the snowball effect was so massive. You guys were able to feed 40 people.
That morning,
That morning.
out of the donations from our hand to theirs was 40 people. My daughter, when she seen me read Brian's post when we were at the house, she seen me get excited about it. She's 7. And she goes, "What are you guys doing?" And she actually wanted to cut out of school and go with. And I
Yeah.
believe your
My
kids,
daughter, yeah. Yep.
but she couldn't anyway. Well, then she says, a 7-year-old off his inspirational post says, "Well, Dad," I said, if you were out in the cold and homeless, what would you want?" She's like, "I want a hat and gloves." So her and I load up at 8 o'clock at night, the night he did the post, before I was in the whiskey, and we head to Walmart and we buy stocking caps, gloves, socks,
water.
bottles of water, and we kind of made it was really minimal work to get this done. It just all fell into place. But what was truly amazing, like Brian was talking about, is how many people got involved so quick with no questions asked. But that also falls back on Brian's integrity. Brian says something, people know he's going to follow through with what he does, and they were just, I'm in, and that's why I was in, because I like to donate. I donate quite a bit, what I can here and there, just as I try to do whatever I can, which is inspired by it's what do you call it? It's contagious.
Yeah, it is.
It's
really
very contagious.
Yeah.
And then when you meet these people that a lot of us drive by or walk by or pay no attention to on the streets, or maybe they ask you for change and they kind of, you try to avoid them when we're out, they're so grateful. We heard "God bless you" 100 times. I mean, it was amazing. I really thank Brian for it. And then, like he mentioned, it's evolved to where now we're going after a nonprofit. We're going to set this up. Continuing back on the donations, he raised so much money on Facebook in such a little time. We were also able to donate 150 to 160 meals. So that's 150 to 160 people that get to eat at the Fork Grill Cafe down here, which is an amazing spot and delicious food. It's the first time I ever ate there. The owners are amazing people, very generous staff. Everybody in there, it's a comfortable atmosphere. Doesn't feel awkward. We got to donate to that too. So in all, feeding 200 people and in 24 hours.
In 24 hours.
24 hours.
It just worked out good because we could feed them instantly
Instant.
that morning.
Yeah.
But then also have like the trail of 160 meals,
Yes.
to get through Christmas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You see, and the greatest part about this in my eyes, and the reason I reached out to Brian to talk a little bit about it today was, it's these kind of things. It's these very simple gestures that people can do
Yes.
that can inspire the next person to go out and be like, "Man, I should do something. That looked really simple."
Yep.
All he did was post on Facebook,
Yes.
"We're doing a thing."
Yep.
And the amount of people that got inspired to give based off that one gesture
Yep.
was mind-blowing to me.
Amazing.
And I know Brian told me earlier this morning that it really caught him off guard, because you don't think, well, I might get $100, I'll get $150, and we'll do our little part. Well, it was such a massive success.
It was surreal.
And I don't know how you measure success, because there wasn't a goal or an end game.
Rather you feed 1 or 1,000.
Exactly.
It's successful.
And we talked a
Yeah.
little bit about that. When you do something like this, let's say 1,000 people see what you do,
Yes.
and 999 people go, "Oh, that was cool, I gotta go to work." But one person says, "I want to do something, I want to help out," and that one person goes and helps somebody else, you've won. Like,
Absolutely.
not that it's a game or a competition, but you won.
Absolutely.
Your efforts were absolutely worth it because you inspired one person.
Mm-hmm.
So now, moving forward, based on the strength of that happening, you guys have decided to take it really next level.
Yeah.
And for all of you listening, this is very, very young. It's in its infancy. It's just something we want you to put on your radar, store it in the back of your mind. These guys have a really awesome idea, and that idea is called the First 25. So this is where you're going to take this little project and hopefully take it next level by creating this nonprofit, and it's going to be called the First 25, where you continue to do these kind of things in sort of a more organized way, which will allow you to help more people, to get more exposure. And it's because of that that I wanted to talk to you, because I feel like when a couple of regular guys like yourself do something like this, it can inspire masses of people. It's something that we all hope can catch on, and the next person says, I want to be a part of that, and I want to be a part of that. The more things like this that we can do as a community, the more we build ourselves up and build each other up.
100%.
And the more people that get helped, then we're all doing a part. Now, I told Brian something like this: we're not going to save the world.
No.
You know what I mean? That's not a reality.
But we should challenge ourselves.
We should challenge
to make our own
ourselves.
community the best that we can possibly make it. And that's the thing with Brian's post that night. I remember reading it sitting on my couch, and it almost hit me like, dang, that's such a good idea. How come everybody? But we get so wrapped up in our own lives and our own going-ons, and everybody's got their ups and downs. But the people that are down all the time, if we can start there and then work into bigger outlets. Rapid City's a great community. I mean, in general, I've lived a lot of places, and this place is amazing. The people are, I mean, from all walks of life.
Yeah.
I've met from the bottom to the top and everybody in between, and you got your bad, but for the most part, this is an outstanding community that really wants to be involved. And sometimes it's hard, you don't know where to start. And then it takes one little post like that where the light bulb comes on, you're like, well, this is way easier. I can be a part of this, doing just a little bit. We're not asking for a lot. And even if you didn't have the 25 and you got $5, and that's 5 sandwiches that you're somebody
you just helped feed 5 people.
I mean, you feel good about yourself. Or if you can't help at all and you just share it, and then some of your friends can get in on it. I mean, it's just a big overall mushroom cloud of what can happen by dropping one little seed, you know.
Well, and see, that's going back to what you said about people don't really know where to start.
Sure.
I would venture to say 99% of us want to do more in our community.
I agree.
We talked a little bit about time being our greatest commodity, and a lot of times, and we all make excuses about our time, and you know, that's what it is, and that's fine. It's not really, but it's reality.
Sure.
So I think the push that a lot of people need to do the things that they want to do, because people want to help.
Yeah.
People want to be a part of something. They want to do good in their community, but they don't know. Well, I don't know what to do. I'm not that kind of person, whoop-de-woo.
Sure.
Through this First 25, it gives people a chance to be like, well, I don't have to start anything.
Right.
These guys are doing a thing. All I have to do my part is maybe click a button.
Take some
You
action.
know, take a little action.
But the biggest thing,
the foundation will already be laid out there for you.
right, and they should realize it's not our thing, it's the community's thing. We, and Brian's so humble, he doesn't, and I give him all the credit for this, because he is such an inspirational guy, and everybody that works with him or has dealings with, I remember the first time I ever met him, fell in love with him, just a great guy. No, I'm serious.
No.
I mean, I'd like to think I'm the inspiration behind the beard. I'm not sure that's 100% accurate, but incredible dude, and that's the thing. He let me come in to help on this, and then it grew into where it's going now and heading, and it's so exciting because at 40 years old, a lot of people, I can't speak for other people, but I feel like, well, I'm not quite where I wanted to be in life. I wanted to do more. Not necessarily have more, I wanted to do more. And that morning we were out, I remember we were driving and we looked at each other, and Josh Kaufman was with us and slinging sandwiches in the hood with us, and we were having fun, and we looked at each other and we're like, man, this is something. You just feel incredible.
Yeah.
You're not doing much, but you feel incredible. You're not doing CPR or saving somebody's life, but it's the same gratitude that you feel for.
You might not physically be saving someone's life, but that small gesture of a chicken sandwich or a biscuit in somebody's hand, this is kind of out the box thinking. but you don't know that person. You don't know their struggle. That biscuit that you give to that person might be the thing that talks them off a ledge that day.
Right.
Because people at any given time are on that ledge.
Oh.
And we don't know that.
Right.
As a society, unfortunately, we're quick to kick people when they're down. And I don't even know if it's an intentional thing, but you might throw a little jab here and there to people, not knowing that that person's fucking teetering on the edge.
Right.
And it could be your insult that shoots them overboard.
Absolutely.
On the flip side of that coin, it could be that $1 value meal sandwich that makes that person go, there's good.
And I don't
And they crawl back from that ledge and they push on and they go, you know what? Okay.
I don't mean to keep
I can fight
beating
more.
to death what a great guy he is, but he made a super good point that first morning too. He said, these people are so dehumanized that because people walk right by them like they don't exist, so they don't even feel like they can interact. Or so like when we ask them their name or how they're doing, or would you like a bottle of water, another sandwich, the excitement in their voice, you could just hear it. They're like, oh, I got it.
You could tell a lot of them no one's asked what their name was in a long time.
Absolutely.
That's fucked up.
It is. You know how, and I'm the first to admit, I'm as guilty as anybody else on the walking past someone and doing this, or I'm as guilty as anybody. Anybody that says you're not guilty, you're lying. Stop lying to yourself and your friends. But there are those times where you feel a little more compassionate. And if you emphasize the time that you feel compassionate, it doesn't negate the fact that you're guilty sometimes.
Sure.
But it does help balance a little bit.
Sure.
So not only are you doing a good thing for your community by doing that, you're creating a balance within yourself.
Right.
None of us are perfect. We're all flawed characters. The key, I think, is finding a balance, admitting, hey, you know what, I'm guilty of that shit too.
Right.
But today, let me do things differently. Today, let me ask their name.
Right.
Let me not just give them $1. Let me not just give them a sandwich.
Hold the door for somebody.
Hold the door. Say, hey, here's a sandwich today. What's your name?
Right.
Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever it is.
Right.
I don't care. The tiniest gestures that we make as humans can literally be the difference between jumping off that ledge for somebody or taking a step back and saying, today is a new day.
Right.
Today, people are good. So moving forward with this first 25, I think is going to be an amazing thing. And Brian and I talked a little bit about this earlier. I think what's going to happen with this movement is it is going to blow your minds as to the potential that it has. I think it's going to blow your mind how rapidly it catches on.
Right.
I foresee it not only becoming a Rapid City thing, a Custer, Hill City, Sturgis thing.
Statewide,
I foresee it
nationwide,
growing organically across the country.
Well,
this is one of those things.
Community
that
challenge.
Exactly, a community challenge.
Yeah.
There's a lot of outlets that this can go in,
Oh, yeah.
and I think it's such an amazing thing. So that's why I wanted to get together with you guys this morning, is just to let you guys know that as we move into 2020, there is people in your community that are really thinking outside the box, and they're coming up with ways that they can do the smallest little thing. I think what they did last week really speaks to the idea that all it takes is a spark from somebody, and that little spark can promote action from others. So don't think that your little idea that you have in your head is just a little idea that you have in your head. That little thing that you have swirling around that you haven't acted on could be something that could really become something special to a lot of other people. I think this will grow into something that will outgrow the two of you. I think it'll outgrow this community. And there's no end in sight to the good that can be done when people just take action.
Little initiative.
Just take a little initiative. I know we're all busy. I know we got families and work, and you're out there trying to find a little bit of time to enjoy your little hobbies or whatever it is. But we're all lying to ourselves if we say, I don't have 1 hour out of 7 days that I could do something different.
If you have children, involve your children.
Involve the kids.
How excited our kids got knowing that they were just doing a little part. Nobody wants to see anybody at the bottom.
No.
You know, and it's sad that it happens, especially in America, which, you know, and I've had people tell me, oh, well, they have to take initiative and do something for themselves. But just like on our level of where do we start with the charity, or how do we help somebody, they're at that level. Where do I start to rebuild my life? And maybe that sandwich is there. Oh, this is where I start.
Or that hat.
Yeah, or the hat, or the socks. Or
I don't want people to think. I don't ever want people to minimalize the relevance of that.
Right.
Yes.
Do not think for a second, oh, it was just a sandwich. I just gave a dude a hat. Don't think that.
Right.
You could have literally changed that person's life
Yes.
that day when you gave him a sandwich,
He
when you
changed
gave him a
my
hat.
life with that post.
Yeah.
He changed how my thinking, my thought process, and what I was going to do for 2020 with that one post. So I mean, if that post changed mine and say 500 other people, and it continues to grow, like you said, there's no stopping.
Yeah, there's
the,
not.
the amount of people that raised their hand that night
that
too.
quick too.
You know, we had 38 or 39 people open their wallet.
Yeah.
We had your attorney friend and my attorney friend both raised their hand to do the charity paperwork.
Yeah.
We have a few people from other states that have asked, once we get this all set up, they want to be a branch and do this in their state, town, community. I mean, it just took off.
And it could be,
You know.
it could be
It's easy.
That's the thing.
one of
Is
the,
it's easy.
one
It's
of the
not difficult.
simplest things to raise our community up, because Rapid City is amazing already. It has the potential to be so much better.
Yeah.
So.
Everybody pitch in.
Yep.
2020. Let's all work a little bit together and a little bit harder to make some things happen. Let's really try to uplift some people. It's minimal effort. I mean, it really is that simple. That was the big takeaway that I got from your whole thing last week was, wow, look how simple that was.
Yeah.
Look how easy that took place.
Just poof, done.
It was like 40 seconds of typing.
Right?
on
It was
my phone.
nothing. It was absolutely nothing. And based on that strength, so many people got inspired to raise their hand and say, I'm in. If you do that on a bigger scale, there's just unstoppable. There's no limit to what it could become. So I'm really excited for you guys, and I want to let you know that anything you need, I would love to be a part of. You can reach out to me. I will help in any way I can. Creative 605 will be a hub for, anything we can do to help start spreading this word. Keep your eyes and your ears open across all the lands, all the social landscapes, if you will. First 25 is going to be a reality coming to you very, very soon. It's going to be an outlet for all of you that maybe just have a little too much going on in your lives, but you want to help, but maybe don't have the know-how to make it happen, or the time, because like I said, time's a factor for people. But First 25 is going to be a way for everybody to get involved and do their little part. And I think it's going to make you feel good, and it's going to make a lot of people in our community feel really good. And who knows, maybe we'll be out here changing lives in 2020.
I like it.
Absolutely.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Let's make things happen.
Let's do it.
100%.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Keep doing big things.
Oh, yeah.
Keep doing all the things. You people, go out and do the things. All of them. I don't care what they are.
Do some things.
Get off your couch. Call of Duty is not your life.